Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Priscilla. I'm by myself. Doing this project alone.
So we have pieces all kind of just dry fitted together now, but it gives you a pretty good idea what the galley's starting to look like. It's looking pretty good, huh? It's come a long ways from where it used to be for the day. But yeah, check this out. It's looking pretty good. Got this on today. And down there we have this installed. Had to cut that. So yeah, that's on. Got this installed. It needs to come back off to get varnished still, but anyways. Yeah, so that's what it's starting to look like. Wait till all that gets some nice coats of varnish on there. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a thing of beauty, people, that's for sure. We don't want to accept anything less than that.
Perfect!
But yeah. Anyways, if you want to follow us, don't forget to like and subscribe. DIY Nautical Dream. Welcome back to another exciting and thrill-filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream. Kind of was thinking about taking the boat out today, but that wind blowing like that and my confidence level, I don't think so. Probably not gonna happen.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich.
Together we make DIY Nautical Dream. Alright, so straight to our DIY project.
Yep.
This week's episode, we're gonna show you guys that the plan is coming together.
It is. The plan is coming together. It might be a little slow at times, but this plan is coming together. And we take a little bit more extra time probably than we should, but keep in mind we're working full time, both of us are, and so we only have the weekend really to work on the boat. So, but it is coming together.
And we ordered the Teak trim from
Eden Saw Hardwoods out in Port Townsend.
That's right.
Yep, that's a pretty nice store. If you're into teak like we are, that's a dream toy store for me. I could spend a lot of time in there just looking at teak and dreaming about things we could do with it. If you're up in the Pacific Northwest and you're looking for any exotic hardwoods and you're out in the Port Townsend area, stop by Eden Saw Hardwoods. They will set you up with the hardwood you're looking for.
More learning mistakes.
Oh yeah, we always have to have some of those along the way, don't we? Yeah. This time I was struggling with the teak trim that we bought from Eden Saw Hardwoods. I was trying to make a couple of shorter pieces into a longer piece and epoxy everything all together. And it actually worked out pretty good until I dropped it. So we're still learning on that project. Bonding didn't bond like I wanted it to. So we'll figure it out.
Alright, and then we varnished the Teak plywood section.
Oh yeah, those are really looking nice. I mean, anytime we put the first coat of varnish on something, man, it really looks sharp. I love doing that for the first time. Baby's always like, are you ever going to let me do that for the first time? I'm kind of taking the fun away from her.
Yeah,
So
he's so greedy.
Yeah, so I really kind of need to hand some of that off to her and let her do it. So.
Oh, and then shout out to Justin.
Oh yeah, Justin at
Harbor Teak.
Harbor Teak, and well, he moved from Gig Harbor to Tacoma now, and we're gonna do later on at some point. We're gonna get together with Justin and we're gonna do a walkthrough of his store. We're gonna video it and show you guys what all he has there to offer. But the teak plywood we're using on all of our installations and projects in here, we're getting from Justin's store at Harbor Teak. So if you need some teak plywood like we're using, he's got it and he'll hook you up. So thanks, Justin.
What else we did, honey?
Oh, let's see what else we're doing. We're fitting the teak trim like we were talking about earlier, and I think we're on the right path. So we just got to stay with it.
We always do, even if we're not.
Even if we're not, we feel like we are, right?
Yep. So stay tuned, guys.
All right. So we got the pieces of teak plywood here at the boat now from home. We got this piece here, this piece, and this piece is actually face down, but they're all the same. Teak plywood. They all got one coating of varnish on them, and so those are going to make up the galley overhead box, the new look we're going for. And so what I'm in the process of doing right now is I'm in the process of squaring this up a little bit here, because what we had before was we had a little bit one of these blocks was just a little bit longer than it needed to be, and it was causing this to bow down about 1/4 of an inch. And as you can see right up here, the overhead structure here has just got a little bit of a bow to it. That's because we added a little bit more thicker material here, because there wasn't anything here before, so I added some structure on the other underside underneath the vinyl. And when I did it, I built it up with fiberglass, so it's a little thicker than the other areas are. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to determine what this gap is without bowing this piece of oak here. So what I did is I put like a straight edge on it, clamped onto it to keep it square until I can get that to a good fit. So now I found the fit we're looking for, and so then I'm going to cut that on the chop saw, and we have it marked out on here. So like so, we'll cut this piece back here on the chop saw, back in the workshop here. We'll cut it on that noisy, rattly chop saw. Can't bring the new one here, it's too big for the boat. So we're just getting ready to cut this piece right here, and it's crazy windy day out today. Anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut that and then we'll check it for fit here in a little bit. Okay, so now we got the piece cut, so let's see how it fits. Go ahead and see if we can get it up in here. So we want a good fit. We don't want any deflection. We don't want anything that's gonna push this down, which this is good. It's still pretty snug, but I think it's gonna keep us really square. So I think this will work. Anyways, what I need to do now is I'll pull it off. I'll locate the holes going up in here through the bottom and the top piece, take the top piece down, locate it on there, and then we'll go ahead and start putting all the structure back together and see about getting everything all nice and fit up really good. We'll take this out and get to work. Here's a look at the newly varnished teak panel pieces we're going to be installing a little bit later. These really look good with the first coats of varnish on them. We can't wait to see what they look like installed in this new project. Looking forward to seeing that. Alright, here we go. Here's a dry fit up of the panels after they have their first coat of varnish on them. Just to get an idea what things look like and how things are fitting up, what needs more trimming, things like that. Well, we're getting pretty close here. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet with this edge right here. So I got some ideas, but we're not sure yet. So, and we know we're gonna put some edge trim, some teak edge trim on here to take care of that. And then yeah, so let's just walk down and we'll see what we're looking at here. All pretty good fit. All pretty good fit. And then right here, I'm not able to get this up and in because what I did was I shortened the standoff that was underneath here, the little support piece. I shortened that because it was a little bit too long, causing this to kind of bow down a little bit. So what I did is I shortened it. So now I got to flush trim this with the router again. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just doing a dry fit up here, trying to figure out how everything's fitting together. And you know, same thing down here. We got, you know, we just gotta finish locating some things, but we have really good gaps back in here. Very happy with all of this. This is a nice, couldn't really ask for a better fit than that. So that's going to turn out really nice. But yeah, I mean, take a look, huh? It's getting there. Starting to look good. What do you think, huh? We're getting there. I'll give another update here in a little bit once we make a few changes and some adjustments. Keep in mind the bottom panel is just on for a test fit, and we're gonna have to pull it back off again to do a little bit more fine tuning with the router to do a little bit better precise trimming, and of course to make another mess. Alright, so we're gonna have to make a huge mess one more time because we're gonna flush trim this to match the new dimensions, because we took a little bit off the leg that was in here, the standoff, took a little bit off, and so now we have a little bit of a lip here on the back side. So we're gonna make that lip go away. We're gonna use this flush cut bit on the router, and what that'll do is it's going to go up here, and you see how the wheel is going to ride on the existing structure behind the part that we want to trim, and we're just going to come down the line here, and the wheel's going to follow this surface right here, and it'll make it flush. It'll cut this flush with that, which is what we're looking for. So a little router action, and stuff is going to fly just like this, and we're gonna make a huge mess. So that's what's coming up next. All right, this is going to make a mess. Yeah, so we just finished up with the flush cut bit on the router, and we went ahead and trimmed this just a little bit more, a little bit better than it was before, and now we have a nice flush fit right here. See, remember before we had that lip that was hanging down? Well, not anymore. So yeah, the router did exactly what we wanted it to do, and so now if you see how that just rides right down the edge there, and so as long as you're careful, everything will turn out really nice. But I've had that wheel, that silver wheel, I've had that fall off on these bits before, and once that wheel falls off, then your cutter goes into the material you're hoping not to cut. So one of the lessons I'm learning, I haven't quite learned it yet, but one of the lessons I am learning is to replace that cutter bit before it gets too far. When it's really starting to get hot and it's really having a hard time cutting, it's time to replace it, because that wheel is going to get super hot, and once it gets hot, the screw that's holding it on eventually breaks or the bearing inside the wheel fails and the wheel falls off. And then you damage your nice beautiful teak that you didn't want to damage. So we're learning that lesson. We haven't quite learned it yet, but we're getting there. I don't like to replace the bits because they're not cheap, but the teak's not cheap either, so we're good. Good to go. Yeah, looks good. And like I said before, the best technique to make things right is usually the one that makes the biggest mess. And so, again, that is true. See the mess? We've made it snow in here with sawdust. Yeah, so we'll clean that up. The goal is to get basically this and this right here to match. So we'll make all this work, and then we'll have a nice finish like this over on here. We only have one coat. It's only one coat of varnish on here right now, so you can see it is going to be very nice looking at some point. So alright, so here we are, kind of first look with all the pieces put together here. Just temporarily, everything's just temporarily installed. We still got to take the panels off and do lots more varnish, and we need to seal them up on the backside with penetrating epoxy, and it'll stop from any moisture damage coming in from on the backside of these panels. Once we get all the same layers of varnish on this that we have over here and on that, and everything's got the same texture to it, same amount of shine and gloss, I think it's looking good. So it's way better than what was in here before, that's for sure. So we got a pretty good fit through here. It's tough to get everything to line up, but we did a pretty good job with that. Even on the back side as well. Nice tight fit there, and nice and tight fit here. Even got it on top of a little piece of trim there to hold it in place. Nice and tight here. Nice and tight. We have that piece to put back. It's right here. It's taped in here. We'll epoxy. When we're all done messing around, we'll epoxy that back into place, and it'll pretty much look like it never happened. So, but yeah, got a nice tight fit here. Yeah, could have got that a little bit better, but I think we're just going to leave it alone. And then this will be like that, so no problem there. I just haven't drilled the holes for this yet because I'm still trying to decide on the final look. Because I think we're going to put like an edge 90 piece here, and a 90 here, and then a 90 piece of trim on here. That's what we're going to end up doing, just because I'm looking for that certain look. So we're almost there, but it's coming, it's close. And then once we have everything all final located, then we're going to put the brass screws in here, same as like these ones here. We'll put those all down along here with the brass washers, and we'll do the same thing on, you know, every so many spaces going up and down here on this as well. But we only have one coat of varnish on here right now on these pieces, on these three pieces here. We're gonna pull these off and sand them and make them, you know, put a couple more coats of varnish on them. But for right now, that's where they're at. So we still have a couple ideas up our sleeve that we haven't even started yet, that it's gonna make this just, you know, look really nice. Lots of teak in the galley. Even on the underside, under there. All teak. It's all nice finishing touch that most people won't even see, but if they ever look, they'll see that we're not missing a lot of the details. We're getting them. It takes a lot of time, but I think it's gonna look pretty spectacular when it's done. We're going for that thing of beauty status, so we'll keep trying. Well, we got lots of stuff in work today. Trying to epoxy these two pieces of teak together here, and then once these are dry or cured, we'll go ahead and install those. It'll make more sense later what these are for, but yeah, so we got that going on. We got these pieces here being epoxied together, and I got this nice little tool here to help hold the angle right there while the epoxy on these cure. And then just to back it up, I took a piece of oak that I had, some scrap, screwed those together and clamped them on as well, just to help hold the angle on that. So yeah, that's pretty good. It's getting there. And then one of the other things we did was we went ahead and installed, it's just temporary installed, but we got it fit in, this nice teak strip here and this piece right here. It's a nice fit right up against that. Yeah, looks pretty good. Right there's a good fit also. Yep. So remember that part earlier where we said we were going to make a mess? Well, trust me, during these processes right here, bonding these two pieces of teak trim together and bonding the larger pieces of teak trim together, we made a mess, all right. We had epoxy everywhere. And it's all about learning and trial by fire and learning by doing. That's the only way we're going to figure it out is by learning by doing. So probably was an easier way, we just didn't know it at the time. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take this apart. We've been holding this in this position here while it cured. I put some thickened epoxy right here at the angle, and then I went ahead and made a little mini strong back here to hold the clamp up against it to hold the shape while the epoxy cured. And then we're going to go ahead and just disassemble everything now, see how it goes. Hopefully, with a little bit of luck, everything turns out good. See, this is what I was worried about right here. I was worried about, oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all. So we got a little bit of cleanup right in here. So you see a little bit of epoxy. A little bit of epoxy got down in here, but we'll go ahead and clean that out because we want a nice tight fit in the corner, and we need that out of there for that. So but yeah, it seems like it's already cured pretty good. Right on. Well, I guess that worked. The little strong back we made right here to hold it nice angle. So that works. Cool. Have to remember that for next time, but yeah, that'll be good. We'll go ahead and clean that up. This is actually on the back side, so nobody will ever see it, but I just want to make sure there's nothing fitting inside the radius of this that's going to come in contact with the teak that I'm mounting this on. I don't want it to cause any interference there, so which is good. We're good there, and went ahead and sanded up this a little bit here as well. You can't see that very well, but there we go. Sanded that just a little bit, and a little bit here on the corner, so we'll do a little bit better sanding on it later. I just want to take some of the sharp edges off of it. We're gonna go ahead and do a little rough fit here in a second. But remember how we thought we were really cool bonding these two pieces of teak trim together, building a little mini strong back to make sure everything was squarely bonding and curing together. We really thought we were big time woodworkers at that time. Boy, were we ever wrong. What had happened was, going up to mount this, I dropped it. It hit the floor, broke right at the joint. That joint was not bonded as strong as I thought it was. So we're kind of back to square one on this whole trim bonding experiment. All right, so what we got going on here is I need to go ahead and drill the holes all along here. I have them marked with a black Sharpie X right here and here. And those are the holes that are going to, I'll show you. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this up here and have it nicely in line with the corner. You see this corner right here? That's what I'm trying to get up in line with. And anyway, so what I'm trying to do, I'll show you here a little bit better. I'm trying to get this nice and square, the best that I can. We're eventually gonna, I already had you know, bonded it together with thickened epoxy, but I went ahead and dropped it, so then it broke. And so what I'm gonna do now is reline everything back up. I'll get all the holes drilled so everything fits nice and good, and then when we're ready again, we'll final fit this and we'll fill it with some thickened epoxy. And eventually what I plan on doing is I plan on rounding this corner over a little bit just so it's not so sharp. So it'll be nice to have this filled in with thickened epoxy. I'll probably put even some teak sawdust in there just to help darken it up, and that'll make it conceal this joint a little bit better. So when I do go ahead and round it over, it will just conceal it even better. So right now I'm in the process of I want to get the holes drilled in the backing plate for this, and then I'll take everything down, and you see right here on the back side I have lines already where everything lines up. So I've got everything already pretty well marked out. So right now we'll go ahead and drill up the holes, and yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle, so not my favorite, but let's see here. We already got this one. Yep. Okay, we already got that one drilled. And then we'll go ahead and drill this one. And we're drilling through teak trim. And then the framework behind all this is oak. So it's pretty dense. And it doesn't cut like butter when we're drilling it, so that's okay. It gives the threads a really good hold, so we kind of like that. All right, so that's that. Go ahead. We got those drilled up because we don't want to ever mistakenly try to drill through the teak for those, because we'll just end up hitting the head of the screw. That way I know those ones with the cross on them are for the faceboard. And this is just what makes sense to me. It probably doesn't make sense to most people, but you got to do something to kind of tell yourself what you're looking for when you're trying to line everything up later. But yeah, you'll see. Okay, I'll kind of show you a good example of what I did before right here. So I put those marks underneath, and now you see those line up really good, right? And then I'll show you what's going on the front side. We went ahead and got this mounted already. So this one's mounted. Looks like that from a distance. And if you see, what we're trying for is we're trying for the same look we have over here on this side. Now this came already on the boat, so we didn't install this, but as you can see, the screw holes are not in line very well. They're not evenly spaced out, but we're not going to change it because that's teak, and we don't want to go ahead and just replace teak for the fun of it. So, but yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going for this look to go right up alongside here, and it'll turn out pretty nice. We're going to have to do a little something different here. We'll have to notch it down a little bit through here and then back up, and then I don't know, we'll probably round over the end right here, just because we're gonna have a clearance issue. But I truthfully think this name needs to be on the door, not on the frame, but we'll figure that out later. What do you think? Do you think the captain's quarters name plaque should be on the door or on the frame? I've always seen it most of the time on the door, but we'll see. We'll figure that out at a later date. But right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start locating some holes. So, but first we got to pull the teak little framework that we have up here. Let's go ahead and pull this down. Yeah, and see, these are actually pretty long fasteners we got in here, so but they definitely are holding really well. And we want to make sure they hold well, because down the line, I just know somebody's going to put their hand up here and use this as a handhold, which is fine, but I want to make sure it's, you know, anchored good and some structure behind it, so it doesn't just bust off. I'm not making it to be a handhold, but I just know how it goes. People being here talking or whatever, and next thing you know, they're holding on to this. And hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully that doesn't happen when we're out in rough weather. I don't think it will hold in. All right, I'll give you guys a look at it here. So we're just going to mount that so that angle continues, and then we have our alignment marks back here, and you can see we got to move this back just a little bit. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're gonna go ahead and fill that forward joint. We're gonna fill that with, we'll put some thickened epoxy right here, and we'll fill it with we'll mix in some teak sawdust, and it'll darken up the epoxy really nice, and that way you won't see this joint at all. And then when we go ahead and round it over later, it'll look nice. It'll be concealed really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and locate these screws now, and then we'll come back and I'll show you after we have everything located. I'll show you when we're installing it, see what it turns out like. Alright, that's it for now. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and going to back drill it through the teak, and I'm trying to find my fastener holes. The thing that's helping me find them is I know they're 10 inches apart, so we're learning as we go. This isn't something I do on a regular basis, so but I like it. Working with wood is new to me since we got this boat, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it, especially working with teak. I really like working with teak. And right now I'm just putting a pilot hole in there with a small screw, and then I'll go ahead and full size these next. Alright, so went ahead and got those located, and they're all 10 inches apart spaced, so that's nice. It's gonna look, you know, it'll look good to the eye if you're happen to be walking through here and look up and stare at it for any length of time. You'll see that we did a good job. Show you what we did here. So we just have everything clamped on here, and then just back drilled everything. So yeah, And these are our reference marks right here, and they're still all in alignment, which is good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but anyways, we got our angle right here lined up, and it matches up there with the other, matches up here with this one. I'll go ahead and get everything installed and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so we got one last hole here. We're gonna full size this one right here. All right, and that's just one size up. And we're using a 2-inch screw. We're gonna use a 2-inch screw to put in there, so it's gonna go in nice and thick through all the structures, and we're gonna hopefully have a nice strong attachment here. Oh yeah, woo! Okay, so they all went in the same way, sounding like that. Oh yeah, so this is what I was worried about. I was worried somebody come in here and want to hang out, you know, on this like this, when they're hanging out in the galley here talking or whatever. So yeah, when we're out at sea, if somebody wants to hang on to this is nice and solid. I'm pretty surprised how solid that is, so that's good. Right on, I like it. I wouldn't want to try and suspend anybody's weight off of it, but okay, so that's good. Now, the moment of truth. Let's see what our joint looks like. Oh man, the camera's plugged in, so I can't pull it real far, but let's see what it looks like here. Oh, okay. It's not like perfect, but you know, I think when we fill that with thickened epoxy, and we have some, sorry, my hand was totally in the way. I was trying to show you that. But yeah, when we fill that with some thickened epoxy, see, it's not bad. And we'll mix some teak sawdust in there. We're gonna be in good shape. I think that's gonna win for us. We'll call that a winner. And I mean, if you look at the, here's what came out of the factory. See, this is their joint. Look at that. I mean, so I think we're better than that. I'm trying to do our projects so they'll turn out better than the factory. Yeah, this is all custom right here. None of this was like this before. If you go back to some of the earlier videos, you'll see what was in here, and then you see what we're transforming it into. We're trying to make this into a thing of beauty. That's what we're going for. We're fingers crossed. We're trying to get this into a thing of beauty. So we'll see what happens. You know, I'm happy with that. So we can pull off that. Yeah, that turned out really good. I'm pretty surprised, actually. It might be easy for some people, but this is all new to me. I don't do this kind of stuff. I'll show you what we got going on. We have one final piece that's going to go back here, and it'll be our scarf joint piece. And I'll have to take a little bit off of the back end right here and make it fit a little bit better. It's going to join up here with this piece right here, and then it'll go the rest of the way back. Can't wait to wrap this part of it up. So I'm going to close this up. I have a little bit of trim I'm going to add there. So now the question is, do we countersink these screws and put teak bones in them, these right here? Do we put, you know, fill the holes with teak plugs, or we have this for an idea? Brass screw with a shoulder washer on it, little brass shoulder washer, and these can make things look really nice. Man. All right, so that problem with these though, Problem with these brass screws is they're not very strong. They're not a real structural fastener. I like it. I like that look. Yeah, because that's what we're using up here. We're using the brass screw with the shoulder washer on it. I think we're going to do that here. I like it. Okay, that's fine for now. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this session here, this video of trying to put the little trim on here, the teak trim on the outside. That's what this video was pretty much all about, doing this. And we'll get this, you know, eventually we'll get this sanded, we'll get some varnish on it, and with these brass shoulder washers and the brass screws, this will darken up. It'll really look nice. I think it's going to give it that, we really want that nautical look to it. So we're really trying to make this, you know, different than whatever it could have been when it was new. So we're trying to make it better. Quality, you know, comes at a cost. Usually it's time, preparation, and practice, making mistakes. Man, we make all kinds of mistakes around here. So, and then eventually we'll want to round these edges over here on the top. You know, I haven't figured out what we're going to do with that yet. I was thinking about a router. We got a long ways to go before we get to that point. But right now we're going to wrap this up. And if it was easy, we wouldn't be doing it. That's for sure. But yeah, check this out. It's looking pretty good. Got this on today. And down there we have this installed. Had to cut that. So yeah, that's on. Got this installed. It needs to come back off to get varnished still, but anyways. Yeah, so that's what it's starting to look like. Wait till all that gets some nice coats of varnish on there. Oh yeah. It's going to be a thing of beauty, people. That's for sure. We don't want to accept anything less than that. But yeah. Anyways, if you want to follow us, don't forget to like and subscribe. DIY Nautical Dream. Well, this project's really coming together. It's really starting to look beautiful. It's everything we were hoping it was going to be, looks wise and more. It's taken us a lot to get the idea out of our head and get it actually to look like we want it to. You know, working with this stuff and all these angles and everything was a lot to put it together. I think if we had to do it over again, we could probably cut a lot of these steps out and do it a little bit more simpler. But this is what we have. We're going to leave it like this, and we'll just grow. It'll continue to grow on us, and we'll like it more and more each time we look at it. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is a big improvement over the white box that was in the galley? And you know, we're trying to make this more nautical looking in the interior than it was before, removing a lot of that white vinyl that we had in here. I mean, not saying it didn't look nice the way it was before, but I think we're just trying to go more traditional and, you know, like an older style boat on the interior. We really like the Formosa interiors, and that's kind of what we're trying to get our boat to look like on the inside. It'll never be as beautiful as the Formosas. We just don't have that capability, but we're happy with how it's starting to turn out. So just let us know in the comments what you guys think. And yeah, thanks for looking at it. Appreciate it. If you made it this far, give us a shout out. Whoa, look at that.
Where all the water came from.
Where'd all the water come from? man. That's cool.
We call it high tide.
Oh. Alright.
Alright, so that's it for this week's update.
Yep.
I think we did a lot.
Oh no, we did quite a bit this time around. So we're trying to cram a lot into this video and make some progress at the same time. And we're getting there. Just a lot of stuff I have to think my way through because I really don't know what I'm doing. So just kind of keep that on the download so none of that word gets out. But we're struggling a little bit here and there. And so when we struggle, it requires a lot of staring and looking and measuring and trying to figure it out. I don't want to waste this teak. I don't want to waste materials. So we're just trying to do it good.
Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below.
Ding! And when you subscribe, we really appreciate it. We look and notice each and new subscriber we get. And we thank you for all the long-time subscribers that we've had with us along the way. And we really like it if you watch our videos all the way through. It helps us with the algorithm and our watch hours. See ya! Dang, if I only hit record. Man.
I think you did.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Priscilla. I'm by myself. Doing this project alone. Yep, but anyways, what else?
But what? But
Alright, so that's...
Oh, dang. I think I forgot to hit record.
Like always.
Oh, man. Is it recording?
No. I think you did. Or maybe not.
Dang, if I only hit record.
It's recording.
Oh, man. Alright. Oh, man.
What? Did you record it?
I think I forgot to.
Okay, I'll let you do it.
There you go.
Did we record it?
Hang on, not yet. No, not yet.
Perfect!